YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here with another video, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about tight end Thaddeus Moss, and is he going to succeed with the Washington Redskins, or is he going to fail? So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. But before we do, make sure you guys go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload a video about the NFL, in this case, Washington Redskins. And let's get straight into today's video. So first, we're going to talk about Thaddeus Moss. Of course, we know that we got him undrafted in the draft, where we're during the draft. We were kind of mad that we didn't, get a tight end or, get a cornerback, to say the least, because those are really the last two positions that were really most in need, and we didn't address that in the draft. So specifically speaking for tight end, we were kind of mad that we didn't get a tight end. So we were like, what are we doing? Why didn't we get a tight end? But then eventually we decided to, right after the draft, actually, Thaddeus Moss said it himself. He said right after the draft, literally like 10 to 5 minutes, right after the draft, the Washington Redskins were the first team to call him. And he said in his interview that he had with all the beat reporters for the Washington Redskins, he said, and I quote, they were the first team to call me, so I wasn't going to back down from that opportunity. You know what I mean? He said it was 3 teams that called him: Redskins, Patriots, and Cincinnati. And he said the Washington Redskins were the first ones to hit his phone or hit his agent, and he accepted it with no second option. So that's really a good sign to consider the fact that we could have got him in the 7th round, 6th round. He was projected to go 5th round if he didn't have the knee or the foot injury. He was projected to go 5th round, but he didn't go because of, obviously, he didn't partake in the combine drills because of the foot injury. So his stock really did drop tremendously because the foot injury. So he was projected to go somewhere like the 5th round, 5th through 7th rounds, but we luckily got him undrafted. So I mean, a win-win situation for us. So one thing I do want to talk about here about Thaddeus Moss is he didn't have any drops in last season. He had 0 drops last season, and he was a key part in winning the national championship for the LSU Tigers. Now, he also said that he did play his best ball in the big games, so that is something special. So when we do get primetime games, or even like maybe if we do good this year and make it to the big stages such as the playoffs, we know that he's going to be prepared because he's used to playing on the big stages, man. He did it in the college football playoffs last year, and also the national championship, where he had 2 touchdowns in the national championship. And one thing I really love about Thaddeus Moss is because he says that in the interview, and speaking from everything from the interview, is he said that the best part about his game is that he doesn't love catching the ball, because anybody can catch the ball and run for a touchdown. He loves to block. He loves to block, and the Redskins haven't really had a good tight end that was somewhat decent in both categories. We either had a tight end that was good in blocking and not really pass catching, hence Jeremy Sprinkle, or we had a good tight end in the catching game and the receiving game, but not a good blocker, hence Jordan Reed. So it's kind of great to finally have the best of both worlds, where Thaddeus Moss could go out, and if you ask him to do some receiving type of catching, he can do it, and he has some rack. He has some rack, and if you don't know what rack is, run out the catch. So it's not like he's gonna catch the ball and just fall. He can run. He can run. He might not be the fastest, but I mean, he can run. He can run, and he can score multiple touchdowns in a game. So that's really something that I really like about Thaddeus Moss. He also spoke on the fact that his last name is Moss, and he said he had to deal with that his whole life. He said just because his last name Moss, it didn't mean everything was handed to him. He said that's one thing that a lot of people get misconstrued about Thaddeus Moss, is that they believe everything was handed to him because of his dad, Randy Moss, probably one of the best. Not probably, one of the best receivers ever to play the game, but probably top 3 wide receivers in the game to ever touch foot on the turf. And he said just because his dad was Randy Moss, everything was not handed to him. He had to, he had to earn everything that he got. And he said what was tough about being Randy Moss's son is because when you're growing up, and if you're a Hall of Famer receiver's son, you're going to have high expectations of whatever you do, and especially you playing football just like your dad. A lot of people are going to, look at you before you even get on the field, look at you and already expect you to be something like naturally good at, because I mean, who look at your dad? But sometimes it's not like that for everybody. Everybody has to earn it and find their own way. He says one thing that he's excited about doing in the NFL is creating his own legacy. He says he loves his dad, of course, he loves his dad, but he's just tired of living off of, oh, that's Randy Moss's son. He wants people to know him for being Thaddeus Moss and not being Randy Moss's son. I mean, but you can't change that. You're gonna be there. People gonna call you that for the rest of your life, even if you are your own Pro Bowl Hall of Famer kind of player. If you pan out to be, you're still gonna be known as Randy Moss's son or whatever. But he also did touched on the fact that him and Sadiq Charles are like best friends. He said it's not like how in college where he was the quarterback, or should I say Sadiq was the quarterback, or he was the quarterback and the other one was wide receiver. He said they lined up right next to each other because he played left tackle and obviously Thaddeus Moss played tight end. So they lined up next to each other. He said that's his best friend, one of his best friends that he talked to the most. And he says the fact that he get to play with him on the NFL level was just crazy. He said that he wasn't able to reach out to anybody really on the Washington Redskins yet, but he reached out to Dwayne Haskins, which is a good sign to introduce himself to be another weapon to this dangerous offense that we're continuing to building, obviously. And one thing that I do want to talk about that is most that I like the most is just the physicality in him, man. I love the physicality. I love a tight end that doesn't mind not block, or that doesn't mind blocking, I should say, such as a George Kittle. George Kittle is probably the perfect example for one Thaddeus Moss, is because he does both categories so well. And I mean, I'm not saying Thaddeus Moss is one George Kittle, but I'm just trying to use him as an example that can give the best of both worlds, if you know what I mean. Thaddeus Moss loves the block, and he can also go out and receive and catch and score touchdowns if you need him to. He can be a great red zone target, just like one George Kittle, or he can do some racking if you need him to, or if you need him in the pass or in the running game and block for you, he can do that. That's what I like about Thaddeus Moss so much, is because he can give you the best of both worlds. Now, I know he has to come in here and earn his spot, but I mean, obviously, I feel as though he's probably the best tight end we have on his roster without him actually already taking a snap on this team yet. I feel as though he's the most upside and the most talented tight end on his roster, because I mean, look at him. He can do best of both worlds. Him and Hill Hedges are probably gonna. I could see them being a nasty 1-2 punch. If we do utilize him right. I would love to see us move Cam Sims to tight end and, put some weight on him, but I'm getting off topic. This video is strictly about Thaddeus Moss. So with me giving you the background information on Thaddeus Moss, with you telling him how he felt about people kept calling him just his dad's son, to where he had 0 drops all last season and he showed up in the biggest games. Will Thaddeus Moss succeed or fail in the National Football League? My answer to that is you don't know. You don't know yet, because I mean, obviously we have to see him play. He has to earn a spot on this team, first of all, because like I said, every time I make a video under this new regime, no one's spot is given. We don't care if you're Tom Brady down to Jamarcus Russell. No one's spot is guaranteed on this team. You know what I mean? So he has to come in and earn it. Then second of all, he has to prove it in games. And he says that he's not too worried about showing his blocking ability, because he knows what he can do, and he knows when the pads come on. The first time they put pads on, he can show the coaches what he can do. And then you can also look at his tape, but he said that he's not worried about what people think about his blocking ability, because he can just show them when it's that time to come. But back onto where I'm saying it, will he pass or succeed or fail or succeed in this league? We don't know yet. He has to prove himself. We don't know. It's the unknown. And even if he doesn't pan out the first year, I don't think you can just cut him or get rid of him, because I mean, 1 year he's an undrafted free agent, so he shouldn't have that high of an expectation to come in and blow your socks off first week of practice or first year. He can be a development work. You know what I mean? He can not pan out 1 year, then the second year come out and be ready. You know what I mean? We know how important a tight end to this offense is, but Thaddeus Moss, I just don't know if he's gonna pan out the first year. We just don't know. I'm hoping he is, and I really do think that he will be. But me trying to be unbiased as possible, we don't know if he's gonna be successful or fail in this league. It's just the unknown of compensation, I should say. It's the unknown of knowing whether Thaddeus Moss will pan out this year or not. Now, with that being said, I don't think that he's gonna fail either. You know what I mean? I just think, like I said, I keep stressing this enough. This is the unknown. I believe that he will pass in this NFL league, and I think that he will be successful, just like his dad. I think he will be great. I think he will be great. Not just saying it because he's for the Washington Redskins, but he did show some flashes in the college football playoffs last year, and even did last year in the regular season, he did do good. And what a lot of people don't know about Randy or Thaddeus Moss is that he wasn't able to just go straight to Louisiana State University. He started off at a smaller school. He didn't go straight to LSU. He had to start at North Carolina, and then he transferred to LSU. So it wasn't like it was just given to him. He had to earn it. He had to earn it, if you know what I mean. And one thing about that is most about him passing or failing. I think that just like how you're doing with some other positions here, you can't just give up on him after 1 year. You have to let him develop. If he does have to develop, of course he does, but I'm saying the speed of the development. If he happens to take longer in the development, you can't give up on him. I say you give him at least 3 years, and then if his third season and he still hasn't panned out, then that's where you probably cut him. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think he will be a great tool for this Washington Redskins team, and I think he will come in off the rip up to speed. He already said that they had virtual classes. He said that they haven't talked to about how he's going to be used in the offense, but rather they've just been learning the playbook. He said the things that are about the NFL to college is nothing really different. It's just more complex or whatever, or the same speed, or rather it's just more in the playbook. You know what I mean? He said it's the same thing. You know, it's football, so it's not hard to grasp. It's just a matter of studying. So Thaddeus Moss should really be interesting to watch this season. I'm excited. I know he'll make the team, and I really believe that he'll be the starter come week 1. If not him, I hope it's Hill Hedges. But we'll see. As always, me and boy Juan Gotti. Like, comment, subscribe, help to the Redskins. Turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload a video about the NFL. In this case, our Washington Redskins. Once again, Thaddeus Moss pass or fail in the NFL. I think he will pass, and I know he will. But as of right now, it's just a matter of the unknown. Everyone stay safe. Like, comment, subscribe, help to the Redskins. I gave you my opinion, and the floor is yours. Peace.